This exact moment is the moment that represented the lowest point of Philipe Coutinho's Barcelona adventure. The club he had left the previous year benefited from his departure, using the money they got from his transfer to create a squad strong enough to humiliate his club on one of the most iconic nights in football. Once upon a time, Philipe Coutinho was on top of the world at Liverpool. He became Barcelona's record signing and everything came crashing right down before him. 4 years after his transfer to Barcelona, the once mighty king of Anfield is returning to the Premier League, but this time to sign for Aston Villa. Where did it all go wrong for Philipe Coutinho, and why exactly has he chosen Aston Villa as the place to write his redemption story? Philipe Coutinho, coming off the back of an impressive 2016-17 campaign where he scored 14 goals and registered 9 assists in 36 appearances in all competitions, was identified as a successor to the outgoing Brazilian Neymar, who became the world's most expensive transfer in history with his move to Paris Saint-Germain. Of course, the possibility of playing for one of the biggest clubs in football, where previous Brazil icons like Romario, Rivaldo, Ronaldo, Ronaldinho and Neymar played at with huge success, was enticing to the Brazilian. He even got Lionel Messi's stamp of approval, who felt he was the perfect replacement for Neymar. Only if Coutinho had listened to Klopp, then his career wouldn't have played out this way. Stay here and they'll end up building a statue in your honor. Go somewhere else, to Barcelona, to Bayern Munich, to Real Madrid, and you'll be just another player. These were Klopp's famous words to Coutinho at the time. Words which will still be ringing in his head anytime he looks around and realizes the severeness of his current situation. Barcelona, yes, Barcelona's record signing will be playing for Aston Villa this season. Can someone remind me of another South American player who came from one of the Spanish giants to a mid-table Premier League team? That's right, James Rodriguez. Yet another player who flopped in Spain and came to a mid-table Premier League club in Everton, did well initially, and has now been kicked out of the club to play in QATAR. But Coutinho's situation is quite different. First, he's only joining Aston Villa on loan, and second, the manager of the club was his former teammate at Liverpool. Although that second point isn't much different to James' situation at Everton, given that he had a manager, Carlo Ancelotti, who had quite a strong relationship with him, but despite that, couldn't still fully revive his career. With Coutinho, things are much different because he's already played in the Premier League and he's even almost conquered it at some point. So he has the experience needed to survive in such a tough league, and having Gerrard as his manager would help his situation even more so that the Englishman can be able to get the best out of him. Coutinho's time at Barcelona was plagued with bad luck. He plays well for the first part of the season, but due to some reason or the other, he always manages to fall out of favor with his managers. He signed in January 2018, so he was not able to play a full season, but did well to show the fans exactly what he was about. But the following season, things changed. He had a great start to the 2018-19 season, but when Barcelona boss Ernesto Valverde decided to switch to the 4-3-3 system, Coutinho became a casualty to the transition. He had to play at the left wing, which is alright for him on the surface, but fundamentally he couldn't assert himself in a certain role. He played at the left flank at times for Liverpool, where he often cuts into the number 10 role. I think you probably know where I'm going with this. Coutinho, who largely used space as a weapon while at Liverpool, couldn't at Barcelona because of the space he naturally occupied was occupied by someone who was far better and dripping in GOAT status, Mr. Lionel Messi. It would be stupid for any manager, especially, and I'm emphasizing that, especially if the manager is as pragmatic as they come, to even consider sacrificing Messi's role for some random 160 million euro signing from Liverpool, right? Such was the greatness of Lionel Messi that Coutinho could never contend with. The Brazilian had to watch Messi take all the set pieces which he usually commanded at Liverpool, and Messi was dangerously excelling at it. Coutinho didn't do much till the end of the season, and morale was at an all-time low, after seeing his former club Liverpool boost their squads with the likes of Virgil van Dijk, Fabinho and Alisson, and won the Champions League trophy in their first full season without him. And this hit really hard. So he had one bad season, and instead of the club to try to support him, they instead went to buy Antoine Griezmann and immediately loaned him out to Bayern Munich. At Bayern, he was doing well until Niko Kovac was sacked and replaced by Hansi Flick. The German didn't fancy Coutinho and opted to play Thomas Müller in his position instead. Coutinho once again wasn't needed. Although he won the Champions League with Bayern and even contributed to Barca's embarrassing 8-2 scoreline, the victory wasn't as sweet as it would have been if he had won it with Liverpool. He returned to Barcelona where Ronald Koeman was the manager at the time. He started well and then got injured before his path back into the team was blocked by then 18-year-old youngster Pedri Gonzalez. And now, Barcelona's financial crisis means that they have to offload high earners to another club, which now brings us to now. Coutinho would have done what any other player in his position will do, and that's to sit on the bench and collect a paycheck. But there's one factor driving him to make a move, and that's Qatar 2022. Coutinho has recently been out of favor in the Brazil squad, and he's looking to fight for his place and possibly play an integral role in his team's very high chances of winning the tournament. Coutinho to Villa is great. He will finally go to a club that wants him, and since Jack Grealish left the club, nobody has really stepped in to fill the void he left, and Villa fans will be hoping Coutinho is that man for them. This is Coutinho's last chance at redemption, and at the end of his loan spell, we would either see a rejuvenated Coutinho or a broken shell of a player.